You know the thing that America has over those crap hole countries of the world? We have a rule of law. And that rule of law is very simple and everybody can understand it. There's no questioning our rule of law. And that's do what the old white guy says or we're going to break your legs. And then take our money out of your pocket. Oh, God. Oh, God, why? Why? The myth of America, and then the reality of America. Truth is stupider than fiction. Anyways, how are y'all doing? I'm continuing with Silicon Dojo. Again, Silicon Dojo. We have a how to become a tech professional class on Zoom this afternoon, 2 o'clock on Zoom. We'll talk about how to become a tech professional. You can go to silicondojo.com to sign up. Again, we have the old videos, old Zoom classes that we've done here. We have our self-study program. We've got 166 participants. Free to the end user. If you want to learn Python, it's there. We have our office hours every Monday between 1 to 5. I talk with people for 30 minutes at a time about what to do about their tech careers and all that kind of stuff. And what I've been working on this week, hopefully it'll be done by today or tomorrow. We'll see. Come on, Wix. There we go. Is we have the Bottle web app framework, the self-study program. So the idea is that we're going to have lots and lots of these self-study programs. So you can go and you can learn stuff at your leisure. Hopefully they're better than just YouTube videos. But anyways, that's what I do. That's what I do most of the day after I get done procrastinating by doing these videos. Oh, golly. I just don't understand. It's so funny. I get so many YouTube viewers. They're like, Eli, you don't understand. And you're like, brother, preach. Brother, preach. I do not understand. Do not even grasp what's going on at this point. Anyways, no joke. No joke at this point. Trump is said to consider executive order to circumvent, wait for it, the TikTok ban. The TikTok ban. Because of course, Trump is going to try to circumvent the TikTok ban that he tried to push through with executive order 4.5 years ago. Remember 4.5 years ago when TikTok was such a national security concern that Trump tried to push through a TikTok ban using an executive order? Well, 4.5 years later, a law finally got passed. There's finally a TikTok ban, and now Trump is going to try to use an executive order to save TikTok because that's the multiverse we wound up in. Oh, golly. Why? Oh, why? So, yeah, if you have not seen the TikTok story, basically TikTok used to be something called Musical.ly. I guess kids like would lip sync on it. I guess that was the idea. Anyways, this Chinese company called ByteDance bought TikTok a long time ago at this point, and it went through all the regulatory compliance, and nobody had an issue with it because at that time people didn't hate China people as much. Anyways, right, gets to be around 2000 or whatever, and basically there's this idea that TikTok is an existential threat to the United States. Again, not our healthcare system, not our education system, not our pension system, not any of these things that are actually killing Americans. So, like, there are all of these things that are currently killing Americans. Americans are literally dying because of these things. Is TikTok one of them? Absolutely not. But a Chinaman owns it. Ergo, you got to do something about it. So basically, the idea is that TikTok is considered an existential threat for some reason. I guess the idea being is that theoretically China can collect the stats on the back end, right? So all these smartphones and all that, if you've got one of these apps, it can collect your geolocation. It can collect a lot of different information about you. And so the idea is that that's a national security threat. The interesting part is, like right around the time that Trump was doing this executive order, MIT came out with a review and found that you could go online, and even if you had a .asia email address, you could contact data brokers where you could buy records of military, active duty military, and their families for 15 cents a pop. So just to be clear, when they're talking about the existential threat to America from TikTok, and you're like, why are you so snarky and laughing? Because you can literally just go out and buy this information right now. Where are the laws? Where are the regulations? If nothing else, to protect the identities and information about our service people. But, TikTok is a threat. Paying 15 cents a pop for information about our soldiers, that's capitalism. So anyways, right, so basically Trump goes out of office. He kind of forgets about it. Again, it came out in like September of whatever year that was. And it was weird. He's like gung-ho for it until he kind of forgot about it. And then like literally at one point, like TikTok went to the judge and was like, we don't know what to do because like the Trump administration stopped filing paperwork. Anyway, so the Biden administration comes in, we're waiting for rule of law and all that kind of stuff. And, it's going along. There's these questions about banning TikTok. And then a weird thing happened. Was it October 9th, October 8th? I don't know. Halfway around the world, an event occurred where people died. And then after that, a lot more people were getting slaughtered. And I don't know where it was in the world. 40 plus thousand people were slaughtered. Hey, I'll have you know, only half of those people that were slaughtered were women and children. The others were, had testicles. Anyways, the interesting thing is there was a whole bunch of brouhaha in the United States because people were not supporting a specific country in the way that they should. Anyways, and the idea is that China was controlling the algorithm in order to indoctrinate the youth of the United States to not like one of our allies. It would not possibly be the actions our allies are taking. It would not possibly be that $20 billion of our tax money is going to turn certain people into fertilizer halfway around the world. Couldn't be any of those things. The reason the American people weren't all on board with turning a certain people into fertilizer was because of TikTok. So anyways, that's when this whole TikTok ban really started to gain steam. Because look at how the brains of our citizens are being changed because of freedom of speech. Anyways, and then basically that was happening. And so the curious thing was then TikTok put out this advertisement, right? So TikTok is a platform. TikTok, has political motivations and the rest of it a little bit. And basically it was saying, hey, call your Congress people because Congress is trying to ban TikTok, right? That sounds reasonable. You have a business. Congress is trying to ban your business. You reach out to your customers and say, hey, contact your Congress people to tell them not to ban our business. Again, if it was a white person doing that, that'd be incredibly reasonable. Of course, any white person telling their customers to contact Congress, that's just obvious. A fucking brown person does it. They're gonna get the back of my goddamn hand. And that's, again, it's the weirdest fucking thing in the world. Like, Congress literally used this as an excuse to ban TikTok. They said, look at how those Chinamen radicalized our youth to come after Congress. Literally, I heard one of those Congress people say, yeah, I had this young teenager. She didn't even know what my job was. She just knew I was banning TikTok and was calling up to say not to ban TikTok. And that shows you the evil of that platform. Just put your hoods on, boys and girls. Just grab the sheets out of the closet, put your fucking hoods on, and be honest about it, right? This doesn't have shit to do with Shinola at this point. Anyways, right? So they put through this TikTok ban because, can't have Americans thinking for themselves. If Americans come up with an opinion that the old white guys don't like, well, that obviously means brown people are involved somehow. Oh my God, this must be the influence of jazz. Oh, your 18-year-old is protesting the genocide halfway around the world? Let me ask you a question. When do they start listening to jazz? What? Anyways, ban the saxophone, motherfuckers. Anyways, right? So basically, they push through law, and the idea is that TikTok, essentially from ByteDance has to divest itself or shut down TikTok by, I think it's Sunday. It is the 19th because it is a national security concern. And that's what you're going to be hearing time and time and time and time and time and time again. National security, right? During the 1990s, it was what about the children? During the 2020s, it's going to be national security. Everything is national security. Why can't you afford a car? National motherfucking security. Why can't you afford medicine? National motherfucking security. Why is society falling apart? Well, the important thing is, right? You may freeze to death under a bridge, but by God, China man ain't gonna have your data. Right? Anyways, and that's what you're saying. More and more of this stuff is national security, national security, national security, national security. If they cannot find a reasonable, a constitutional reason to destroy something, they will destroy it with national security. The thing is, people don't like this. It is idiotic on the face of it. Again, because they're not pushing through laws, right? That psychopathic piece of garbage, Mark Zuckerberg, can still collect as much data about you as he wants. Google can still collect data about you. All of these companies can still collect data about you. All these companies can still collect data about you. That information can be sold to data brokers, and literally our actual enemies can buy personal information about our service people for 15 cents a pop. And hey, if you're gonna buy the information by 10 or 20,000 at a time, maybe we can knock it down to 10 cents a pop for you. Because the important thing here is not about national security, it's making sure capitalism stays intact. If you are going to target our service people, by God, you will pay 15 cents for the information to target our service people. So, anyways, again, people are frustrated, especially young people are frustrated, right? Right? TikTok is essentially a young person's platform. Again, to be clear, I don't get it. Crystal clear, I don't. I didn't understand Snapchat. I got on the Snap for a while. I didn't get it. I stopped using it. Again, there was no addiction. I have no argument about Evan Spiegel. I just didn't understand. I just didn't understand TikTok. All right, I didn't understand Snap. Same is true with TikTok. I had buddies of mine, and like, oh, it's addictive, right? Doom scrolling. So I gotta tell you with TikTok, there was a long time there. I decided not to use TikTok because people were talking about how amazing it was. And I was just like, no. I saw this. I was a high schooler during the 1990s. I remember when meth came in, and all of my buddies were like, Eli, meth is awesome. And then thankfully, I was actually chronologically younger than most people in my class. Just one of those weird quirks. And so I wasn't into the whole sex and drug thing. And then, like 6 months later, about the time that I was into that kind of stuff, yeah, you saw the ramifications of meth. I'm still not sure who looks at a meth head and says, that's what I want to be when I grow up. Again, cocaine, don't get me wrong, cocaine, heroin, dope. Again, not my cup of tea, but I can understand where a young person can look at one of those people and be like, yeah, I have no idea who looks at a meth head and says, yep, that's what I want to be. Anyways, right? So I had seen that. I had seen that when I was young, and so everybody was talking about how amazing TikTok was, and I just stayed away. Hey, if it's so, I'm just not gonna partake. Not gonna partake. Skipped out on crystal meth. Skip out on TikTok. Anyways, years go by, and it's like, maybe I'll experiment a little bit. Got a little TikTok account. Started trying to watch TikTok. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. No. I'm not anti-TikTok. I'm not pro-TikTok. It's kind of like dope as far as I'm concerned. I don't really understand why people care one way or the other. Yeah, so I'm not right. But the thing is, like for TikTok though, it's the big platform for a young generation. For a younger generation, the sub 30-year-olds, they love the TikTok, right? And they look around and Mark Zuckerberg can have his rapist mentality and steal all of your information and to put his knee into your metaphorical neck and squeeze you for everything you're worth. Google can screw you every goddamn day of the week. Your ISP, literally, you're paying money to ISPs to give you internet service, and then they're selling your data on the back end, right? Any reasonable person looks at it, and privacy is a complete and utter shit show in the United States, and our politicians are too stupid stupid to actually do anything practical about the privacy issue. And so when you say to young people, well, the reason that TikTok has to be banned is because of national security privacy issues, when they see what their own people are doing, when they see what the older people in their own country are doing to them, why should they hate China so much? Don't focus on Mark Zuckerberg. Focus on China. So now they got a bit of an issue. They've got a bit, right? Because the idea was that they were going to strong arm ByteDance into selling TikTok. Because Pelosi came out. God bless the Democrats. They're so fucking stupid. They literally say what they're thinking. Pelosi came out and said, we're not trying to shut down TikTok, right? So many of them came out, we're not shutting down TikTok. And that's what they tried to say. We're not doing it. We're just forcing them to divest. We're putting a metaphorical gun to ByteDance's head and telling them if they don't give us our money out of their pocket, we're going to put their little baby TikTok down. And so basically, right, that's the whole thing, the forced divestiture. Again, ByteDance isn't interested in this kind of crap. China isn't interested in this kind of crap. And so it looks like if it goes through, that on the 19th, on Sunday, basically TikTok will go dark. They have not found a buyer for TikTok. Again, there's a huge question about whether, practically they should even sell TikTok. And so, right, 19th, it's going to go dark. And so the politicians have a problem. Brown man didn't do what they were supposed to do. Right? Right? They pulled out the burning cross. They pulled out the lash. They got their nooses ready. And then the brown person just didn't show up to the party. What? Didn't those brown people know they were the guest of honor? They're the entire reason we're having this cross burning. Anyways, right? So basically our politicians have a bit of an issue, right? TikTok, the danger of TikTok is national security issue, and so it's got to be divested or shut down. But the American people don't want it shut down, and now it looks like it's gonna get shut down, and all kinds of stupidity is going to ensue. And again, I will remind you on this whole national security issue that Trump tried to put this executive order through 4.5 years ago. TikTok is such a danger to our national security. We're just going to go have a cup of tea and a vacation and get a college degree and then get around to banning it from the United States. Again, think about that. If you're a computer science major, you would have come out of high school, gotten your degree in computer science, and TikTok still exists. So anyways, so here's the issue, right? So it's supposed to be shut down, and that's where we have this whole thing now. Trump is looking at an executive order, and the Democrats are pissing themselves because the world just doesn't care that much about old white people anymore. So this is from Reuters, actually, so you can see. TikTok's fight against going dark gains support, God bless, from key U.S. lawmakers. TikTok's fortunes took a positive turn on Thursday as a growing number of U.S. officials said its Chinese owner should have more time to sell the app and stop it from being banned ahead of President Donald Trump's return to the White House. Trump's incoming national security advisor said that the new Republican administration will keep the social media app used by 170 million Americans alive in the U.S. if there is a viable deal, and top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer urged President Joe Biden to extend by 90 days a deadline to shut it down on Sunday. So we've been talking about shutting it down for 4 years. This law went into place a year ago. And now they're doing the extensions. A law passed in April mandates TikTok's owner, ByteDance, divest TikTok's U.S. assets by Sunday to a non-acute Chinese buyer or be banned on national security concerns. Quote, "We will put measures in place to keep TikTok from going dark," U.S. Representative Mike Waltz told Fox News, pointing to a provision in the law allowing for a 90-day extension if there is significant progress towards a divestiture. Is there significant progress? I haven't heard of any significant progress. It just seems like they're trying to push the ball down the field. Essentially, that buys Trump time to keep TikTok going, says Walls. A White House official said on Thursday the Biden administration does not plan to enforce the ban on Sunday, leaving it up to the Trump administration, though it is not clear if the app will remain online absent a formal extension. Given the timing of when it goes into effect over a holiday weekend, a day before inauguration, it will be up to the next administration to implement. Again, this is also a weird thing with our politicians. Like, why in God's name would you implement something like this one day before an inauguration? The U.S. Supreme Court is currently deciding whether to uphold the law and allow TikTok to be banned on Sunday, absent a divestiture, overturn the law, or pause it to give the justices more time to make a decision. The court said it may issue rulings on Friday, but as is customary, did not state which case or cases would be decided. Trump once supported a ban on the app, but changed his stance since last year. His shift came amid growing signs of support for his presidential campaign among tech executives and overtures from Republican donor Jeff Yass, who owns a big share of ByteDance. So basically, TikTok needs to be banned when you don't see the value in it. When you see the value in it, now it needs to be saved. This is the most hilarious thing too. In a sign of warming tides between Trump and TikTok, the video app CEO Xu Zichu will attend the presidential inauguration on January 20th and be seated on the dais among other high-profile invitees. Two people familiar with the matter told Reuters. So yeah, I mean, you know how they say, keep your friends close and your national security risks closer. Yeah, so he's going to have the CEO of the national security risk is going to be on the dais during the inauguration. It's clear that more time is needed to find an American buyer and not disrupt the lives and livelihoods of millions of Americans, Schumer said. He's a Democrat on the Senate floor, adding that Democrats tried to pass a bill extending the deadline to find a solution to 270 days. Quote, I will work with the Trump administration and with both parties to keep TikTok alive while protecting our national security. So Schumer has basically said they tried to extend this thing by 270 days. So again, they tried to ban this thing before Trump was out of office, so 4.5 years ago. They want to add an extension of 270 days. So to be clear, the politicians are so worried about the national security implications of TikTok. They don't want it banned in any less than 5 years. If it takes a day over 5 years to get rid of this national security concern, that is just a day too long. And this is why I laugh at this horse crap. Again, it's a joke. It's a joke. Our politicians are making us a laughing stock of the goddamn world. And the exact same time they're making us a laughing stock of the world, they're thumping their fucking Bibles. They're pretending this is about morality. They're pretending this is about national security. They're pretending I'm not reading between the lines. I'm reading the lines. The comments by Schumer, who was a strong supporter of the law to force a sale. So the person who was a strong supporter of the law to force a sale wanted a 270-day extension. Are a sign of growing concern among prominent Democrats about the potential impact and political fallout of shutting down TikTok. You think, you dumbasses? You attack the platform of the younger generation, and you might think there might be blowback for that. The New York Times reported Trump is considering an executive order that would seek to allow TikTok to continue operating despite a pending legal ban until new owners are found. It was not immediately clear if Trump has the authority to do so, given the legal divestiture requirements imposed by Congress. TikTok did not respond. Let's see. A spokesperson for Trump transition said President Trump has repeatedly expressed his desire to save TikTok, and there's no better deal maker than Donald Trump. Reuters reports TikTok plans to shut U.S. operations of a social media app on Sunday, barring a last-minute reprieve, according to people familiar with the matter. Again, people ask me, I was like, oh, Eli, why did you stop doing so many commentary videos? I don't even know what I'm arguing against here. See, in order to do a good commentary video Right? Somebody has to have an idea. Somebody has to have a point, and then you argue against that. I don't even understand. I don't even understand what this is. I don't understand. TikTok is a national security concern. Oh, we got to get rid of it? Yes, we got to get rid of it as soon as possible. So that means quick. Yeah, within 5 years. Oh, yeah, the guy who wanted to ban it by executive order now wants to save it by executive order. The Democrats who were able to push this ban through are now the ones that are trying to delay the ban. Oh, the president that pushed it through is like, I'll let the next guy deal with it. Again, and to be clear, this is supposed to be a national security concern, right? This isn't like what is the definition of pornography. This isn't like there are 17-year-old girls on TikTok that are twerking in tiny bikinis. Is that pornographic? Right, again, that's an interesting question. Like what happens if you have young women on a social media platform in the bare minimum number of clothes and pedophiles are yanking to it? Right? That's an interesting question. Are women allowed to do what they want with their body? Yes. Are children allowed to do what they want with their body? Not necessarily. Where is the line? It's here. Okay, well, these women, these young girls, these young females are within that line, so it should be okay. Well, yeah, maybe that should be okay. But the reason we're trying to protect the women is because of these pedos that are now getting off on that, and that's going to cause something out. Right? That's an argument. It's not fucking good. It's not an argument I want to be a part of. But like you can you can see how feminists be on one side, and you can see how feminists would be on the other. You can see how about constitutionalists be on one side and constitutionalists be on the other. It's like should we allow 17-year-old girls to twerk on TikTok in teeny tiny bikinis? Oh God, these are hard questions for society. Right, but what we're told here is that this is a national security concern. Our number one geopolitical foe, that's also our number one trading partner, but whatever else, our number one geopolitical foe, where we have all of our military apparatus pointed at, where they're talking about possibly World War III kicking off as soon as 2027, that TikTok is a tool of that regime to destabilize America. Right? I mean, if that's your argument, that's your argument. Like, and then the people that push this argument through are the ones that are vacillating about the implementation. Kind of seems like really fucking old white guys don't really know what to do when the brown people don't show up to the lynching party. When you are the guest of honor at the lynching party, it's only polite that you show up. So yeah, I don't know. Again, I'd hate to say I'd be curious to see how this goes. It will be vaguely interesting to see how this goes. I don't have much of a horse in the race one way or the other as far as TikTok is concerned. I do not use TikTok at all, like literally at all. So if it stays, if it goes, it doesn't affect me from that point of view. It does seem to me, it truly and honestly seems to me that this is a First Amendment. Basically, the idea being because TikTok's algorithm did not align with particular political views in the United States. That again, the politicians are pissed off. That's why they want it banned. Um, but yeah, we'll see how this disaster goes. Maybe the Supreme Court will come out. Maybe Trump will talk to the Supreme Court again. A number of the Supreme Court justices came from Trump. The majority are quote unquote Republicans. Whatever Republican means anymore, I don't even know what that means anymore. Maybe now that Trump is going to be in office, they'll come out and they'll rule it a First Amendment issue. Again, that's like one of the weird things with how our Supreme Court works. Is there like the final arbiter? But it's not like an if else statement. It's not like this very scientific thing. They they think about case law. They think about the Constitution. They think about the Federalist Papers. They take all of that into consideration to coming out with their results. Again, if you look at Roe, whatever, Wade versus Roe, Roe versus Wade. With the whole abortion thing. Again, they came out with privacy. The reason abortion was legal in the United States was women's right to privacy. And you sit there and you're like, what? I'm not even against the rule. I'm not even against the ruling. I'm just, what? Again, a 17-year-old can't get a tattoo. Like I can't use drugs. Isn't that my right to privacy? There's a lot of medical stuff out there that I can't do. Like literally, legally, I'll be thrown in jail if I do with my own body, but that's not protected by privacy. But this one particular right is protected by privacy. Seems more like that's a political statement. Again, it's a legislation from the bench is what they call it. Again, the gay right to marriage. 100% for gay right to marriage, zero against gay right to marriage. But where the fuck did that come from? Really? Sounds like you're legislating from the bench. And that's one of the weird issues we have with the Supreme Court. Again, whatever gets put into law, if it's not put into law, it doesn't necessarily go up. But once it's put in law, it goes up. And then you have these 9 people basically make their decision. So what could happen is Trump could basically make it known he wants TikTok to stick around, and then they can literally bat it down for First Amendment issues. Or they could not, because that's how our rule of law works. That's the one thing. When you're a foreigner and you come to the United States, the one thing you know about our rule of law is it supposedly exists. So anyways, what do you think about this? What do you think about the TikTok ban? What do you think about the people that were pushing for the TikTok ban now seem to kind of sort of be trying to stop the TikTok ban? What do you think about the fact that all the people that pushed the hardest for the TikTok ban are the ones like, why, me? Who, me? Why are you blaming me for the consequences of my actions? I told that brown person what to do. It's not my fault they didn't show up to the lynching party. Anyways. Oh, what's happening in my country? I don't know. Same thing that happened yesterday, I suppose. Same thing that happened yesterday. So put your thoughts down below. And Monday we will see what happens. See y'all later.